Invest smarter with AI. In today's video, we're breaking down one of the most important skills modern investors can learn: how to use artificial intelligence to make smarter, more structured, research-driven investment decisions. By the end of this episode, you will walk away with a full library of AI prompts you can use for stocks, ETFs, dividends, bonds, property, and even a short, responsible section on Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'll also show you how to use AI tools like ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, FinChat, and TradingView's AI features to build confidence in your own decisions. The goal isn't to predict the market, no one can do that. The goal is to help you think better, analyze faster, and invest smarter. Before we begin, here is the required disclaimer. This video is for information and education only. It is not financial advice, and no outcomes are guaranteed. Always do your own research or speak with a licensed financial advisor before making investment decisions. If you find value in this kind of research-based investing content, make sure you like this video and subscribe so you never miss an update. Let's get started. Artificial intelligence is not a crystal ball. It does not predict prices and it does not eliminate risk. What it can do is something even more valuable. It helps you build a structured analysis around every investment you're considering. AI doesn't replace your judgment, it enhances your judgment. It helps you understand earnings reports in plain English, compare companies side by side, analyze risk, identify long-term trends, run scenario modeling, and stress test your portfolio. It is like having a research assistant that works 24 hours a day and can process thousands of data points instantly. Do you already use AI in your investing research? If so, which tool do you prefer, ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, or another one? Now let's talk about how AI should be used before you invest a single dollar. One of the most common mistakes beginner investors make is jumping directly into price targets or hype. AI helps you slow down and build an actual thesis. For example, before buying a stock, you want to understand the business model, the revenue streams, the competitive environment, the risks, and the long-term outlook. Instead of spending hours reading reports you may not understand, here is a simple but powerful prompt you can use. Prompt: company deep dive, short version. Explain this company to me like I'm new to investing. What does it do? How does it make money? What are its main risks? And what are the long-term growth drivers? Prompt: company deep dive, power version. Provide a full investment research breakdown of this company using fundamentals, competitive positioning, earnings trends, risk factors, long-term sector outlook, valuation metrics, and management quality. Present the insights in a clear, unbiased, data-focused way. No hype, no price predictions. This is the kind of prompt that produces serious, structured analysis. Next, let's move to risk assessment. This is critical, because investors often ask whether something is a good buy, without understanding the volatility, the potential downside, or how it fits into their portfolio. AI is excellent at helping you see the bigger picture. Here is a prompt that helps you do that. Prompt: risk analysis. Evaluate the key risks associated with investing in this asset, including market risk, sector risk, valuation risk, earnings risk, regulatory risk, and liquidity risk. Provide examples and explain what an investor should monitor over the next 12 months. Now let's go sector by sector, starting with stocks, the area where AI provides the most immediate value. When analyzing individual stocks, you have three major angles: fundamentals, technicals, and sentiment. AI can help with all three, but fundamentals are the most important for long-term investors. Here is a set of prompts for stock fundamentals. Prompt: fundamental analysis, short. Summarize this company's fundamentals: revenue, earnings, margins, debt, cash flow, valuation ratios, and growth trends. Prompt: fundamental analysis, power. Perform a full fundamental analysis of this company using revenue trends, margin performance, capital efficiency, free cash flow, valuation multiples, management effectiveness, and competitive advantage. Compare the company to its closest peers and highlight strengths and weaknesses. You can also ask AI to explain earnings reports that you find complicated. Prompt: earnings breakdown. Explain this company's latest earnings report in simple terms. What improved, what got worse, and what does management expect for the next quarter or year? Artificial intelligence also helps with competitive analysis. Prompt: competitor comparison. Compare these two companies across financial performance, valuation, growth potential, risk level, and competitive positioning. Present the information in a clear table and an easy-to-understand summary. Now for technical analysis. AI can interpret charts, highlight moving averages, explain trends, and help you understand price momentum, without predicting the future. Here is a safe and useful prompt. Prompt: technical overview. Explain the current technical setup for this stock using moving averages, support and resistance levels, volume trends, RSI, and MACD. Do not make predictions. Only describe what the chart indicates right now. Sentiment analysis is also helpful. Prompt: market sentiment. Summarize the current sentiment around this stock using news tone, analyst commentary, earnings reactions, and macro conditions. Identify if sentiment is positive, neutral, or negative and explain why. Let's move to ETFs and index funds, which are perfect for long-term investors. AI can compare ETFs far more quickly than a human can. Here is your first ETF prompt. Prompt: ETF comparison, short. Compare these two ETFs in terms of holdings, expense ratio, risk level, historical performance, and long-term strategy. And here is the deeper version. Prompt: ETF comparison, power. Provide a full comparison of these ETFs using holdings breakdown, sector exposure, geographic exposure, expense ratios, turnover ratios, long-term risk, return profile, dividend yield, and suitability for different types of investors. If you are unsure whether an ETF fits your time horizon, use this prompt: time horizon fit. Explain whether this ETF is more suitable for short-term, medium-term, or long-term investors and why. Now, let's shift to dividend investing, one of the most popular strategies for building passive income. AI can help you determine whether a dividend is stable or risky. Here are prompts you should use. Prompt: dividend stability. Evaluate the dividend stability of this company by analyzing the payout ratio, earnings trend, cash flow coverage, debt levels, and industry conditions. This video is for information and education only. Prompt: dividend safety score. Provide a dividend safety assessment for this company and explain the most important factors that could cause the dividend to increase, stay stable, or be cut. If you want to compare multiple dividend stocks, prompt: dividend comparison. Compare these dividend stocks across yield, payout ratio, dividend history, dividend growth, cash flow stability, and long-term sustainability. Now let's talk about bonds. Bonds are often misunderstood, but they are one of the easiest areas for AI to simplify. Here are your bond prompts. Prompt: bond risk analysis. Explain the risks of this bond, including duration risk, interest rate risk, credit risk, liquidity risk, and reinvestment risk. Prompt: yield curve interpretation. Explain what the current yield curve indicates about the economy and how it affects bond investors. Now let's move to property investing, rental properties, cash flow modeling, and ROI projections. AI is extremely strong in this category because it can break down numbers clearly. Here are your property prompts. Prompt: rental income model. Create a rental property cash flow model using purchase price, mortgage rate, maintenance costs, taxes, insurance, and rental income. Include cash-on-cash return and net yield. Prompt: renovation ROI. Estimate the return on investment for these renovations and explain which improvements typically generate the highest rental or resale value. Prompt: market comparison. Compare these property markets using rental demand, vacancy rates, price trends, local economic growth, and long-term appreciation potential. Now for the short, responsible crypto section, limited to Bitcoin and Ethereum. Again, no predictions, only fundamentals. Prompt: crypto fundamentals, short. Explain what problem this cryptocurrency solves and how it works in simple terms. Prompt: crypto fundamentals, power. Explain the long-term fundamentals, adoption trends, utility, network effects, security model, and risks associated with this cryptocurrency. No price predictions. Prompt: crypto risk assessment. Summarize the risks of investing in Bitcoin or Ethereum, including volatility, regulatory uncertainty, liquidity risks, competition, and technological risks. Here is the second engagement question for the comments. Which type of investing are you most interested in? Stocks, ETFs, dividends, bonds, property, or crypto? Now let's move into multi-asset portfolio building. This is where AI becomes especially helpful. You can ask AI to build a diversified portfolio based on your risk tolerance and time horizon. Here are your key prompts. Prompt: risk-based portfolio. Create 3 portfolio allocations: conservative, moderate, and aggressive, using stocks, ETFs, bonds, dividends, and property exposure. Explain the reasoning behind each allocation. Prompt: diversification score. Analyze how diversified this portfolio is and identify areas where diversification can be improved. Prompt: rebalancing strategy. Explain a smart, long-term rebalancing strategy for this portfolio and how it helps manage risk. If you want to stress test your portfolio, prompt: stress test. Run a scenario analysis on this portfolio under rising interest rates, falling earnings, high inflation, and economic slowdown. Identify which assets are most at risk. Now let's talk about one of the strongest features of AI: automating your research. Instead of doing everything manually, AI can run recurring checks like earnings summaries, sector updates, or risk alerts. Here are prompts you can reuse weekly or monthly. Prompt: weekly market update. Give me a weekly market summary focusing on earnings, inflation, interest rates, sector performance, and major global events. Prompt: earnings alert. Summarize the most important earnings reports this week and explain what investors should pay attention to. Prompt: sector rotation. Explain current sector rotation trends and which sectors are gaining or losing momentum. Now let's talk about preventing AI hallucinations, a critical part of using these tools responsibly. You must ask AI to cite sources, show uncertainty, or break down its reasoning. Here are your safety prompts. Prompt: citation check. Provide sources, data points, and references for all claims made in your analysis. If unsure, say so. Prompt: step-by-step reasoning. Show the full step-by-step reasoning behind your conclusions without skipping steps. Prompt: uncertainty level. Explain your level of confidence in each part of this analysis and why. Now, let's move to your full prompt library. This is the part viewers will screenshot and save. Ultimate Master Prompt. Act as a professional investment research analyst. Provide a structured, unbiased analysis of this asset using fundamentals, valuation, risks, macro factors, sector trends, competitive positioning, historical performance, and long-term outlook. Include a risk summary, a diversification impact assessment, and what an investor should monitor over the next 12 months. No predictions. No financial advice. Which of these AI prompts will you try first? Comment below and let me know. Finally, thank you for watching. If this video helped you feel more confident using AI in your investing journey, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and follow for